into it. It's a pretty sad day in America, ladies and gentlemen, when a journalist has to turn himself in for criminal trespassing charges for asking questions of his government, for being in a publicly accessible area that's funded by we the people, the taxpayers. This is sad. I'm gonna have to go be processed, lose my freedom, sit in a cell. I've already sat in a cell in this building before for 6 hours. It's completely insane. It's completely insane. It's not right. It's unjust. This is tyrannical behavior by the Nassau County Police Department.
All right, so I totally agree with Sean. It's a sad day. It's truly a sad day when a convicted felon now for armed robbery can turn 500,000 people against law enforcement. Holy crap. Okay? Now, you just heard Sean tell his subscribers that he's turning himself in for questioning government. You just heard that come out of his mouth. What a crock of shit. Crock of shit now. Okay? Because if you remember, Sean got himself arrested at the Department of Human Services. And again, he brought that shit upon himself because the first time he went to the Department of Human Services, he was told by numerous employees as well as 2 police officers that that location has the no recording policy. Okay? And as we all know, frauditors, policy don't override the Constitution and all the other BS. And I need to talk to your supervisor. Supervisor came, and what I found interesting, because here he tells the supervisor, well, shit, let me show you the little clip what he told the supervisor.
So I wanted you to come down here just so I can explain to you. These officers here, while Officer Tenriello was very professional, Officer Keller here wanted to escalate the situation a little bit more than I liked, but they were basically saying that I can't film inside. I told them I'm an independent journalist. I'm exercising my First Amendment freedom of press right here. I'm working on a story on the Department of Health and Human Services, and that was it. And they're saying that their logic is saying that my First Amendment right doesn't apply inside of this public building here.
All right, so as you just heard Sean state that the officer's logic is that Sean's First Amendment rights do not apply at the Department of Human Services. And it ain't the officer's logic, it's the Department of Human Services policy of no recording. And now the officers, in my opinion, they're caught in between. Because as we all know, the location has told Sean numerous times he can't record. But as we all know, Sean, as well as every other damn frauditor, they're not going to abide by the policy. They don't respect policy. So the location, unfortunately, the next option they have is to call law enforcement. Law enforcement is like caught, in my opinion, they're caught like in the middle. Because what are they going to do? A location now, it's either they're going to go hands-on or they're trying to do everything by the book. And if the frauditor, Sean, doesn't abide by the policy, well, the next option is to call law enforcement. So, again, in my opinion, law enforcement is caught in between. And until this gets settled in a court of law, like Sean told the supervisor that he was going to take this to court, and let me prove it to you.
What I will just say is that, like I said, I've had these conversations with the leadership in your department before. I'm surprised they haven't given you any guidance on how to deal with this kind of situation. So, if you're going to enforce their policy, all I would need from you, Sergeant Camilleri? Camilleri. Sergeant Camilleri. So if you want to enforce their policy as a sergeant, all I need from you is to say, if I don't stop recording, you're going to arrest me. And then I can take you into a court where you said we're not allowed to record. Then I could take this into a court of law and hold the public servants here, you and your officers, accountable for violating my constitutional rights.
So now, after the same old BS threatening that if you violate my rights for recording in public, I'm going to take you to court and so on, and that's the appropriate thing to do. If you're not happy with a policy or a rule or whatsoever, take it to court. That's the appropriate place to fight this. Let a judge decide. Now, he was warned that if you come the following day recording and told to stop, and if you don't stop and leave, well, you're going to get arrested. And that's exactly what he did. Came back the following day recording, told to stop, didn't stop, told to leave, didn't leave, got himself arrested. I think we could all agree he brought that shit upon himself. All right, so now think about this. He was arrested at the Department of Human Services for trespassing. He was trespassed from the Department of Human Services. And then a week later now, go back to the Department of Human Services, but this time record with a hidden camera and then post it online to rub it in their face. Oh, now you tell me the stupidity in that, okay? Now, I'm sure they're watching his videos, okay? And that's when the warrant came into the picture, okay? Because now you just shown the prosecutor that after being arrested for trespassing, you went back there again with a hidden camera. Come on now, you can't tell me he didn't bring this shit upon himself. And the next thing you know, he's blaming his stupidity. Oh, the commissioner's corrupt. This is what he's doing to me, blase, blase. Commissioner ain't do shit to you. You did it yourself. Now, I'm not saying that the commissioner ain't got skeletons in his closet. I'm not saying that the commissioner shouldn't be looked into, and if found that all this shit is true, that he should be fired. But again, the commissioner didn't do this warrant thing because he just pulled it out of his ass. Sean did this shit, and his own subscribers, they're so far possessed that they can't see straight. But hey, it is what it is. Let's get back to the video.
Just a little bit before 7 a.m. here, and we're going to be turning ourselves in at 7 a.m. on the outstanding warrant. Now, to clear up everything, just want to make this very clear. I am technically not supposed to be anywhere near the Nassau County 3rd Precinct. There are 8 stay-away orders against law enforcement officers as well as government officials that I've talked about in previous videos. The outstanding warrant is for criminal trespass in the 3rd degree. I was charged with criminal trespass in the 3rd degree when I went back to the Department of Social Services in Nassau County, surreptitiously recording. I don't know how they're going to make this charge stick. All I know is that they came looking for me at my house, crossed county lines, came to my house, ran after me, ran me off the road, and this is the warrant. All the Gestapo antics that's been going on here with the Nassau County Police Department, and we're finally here to turn ourselves in. Let's go in. Now. So as you can see, this is how Nassau County Police Department operates. No access to the public. No public access to our lobby. That's just the way it is. So you can see here they should be expecting me. So I ring the
facility.
Excuse me?
I'm on the facility.
Yes, I don't have a camera.
Are you?
I don't have the camera.
You?
He's exercising his constitutional rights, sir. We have the Right to Record Act for New York State says you're allowed to film law enforcement in the course of their duty.
No video camera in the building.
So you think that your sign that says no video recording in the building overrides the Constitution and the New York State Right to Record Act?
You're here for what reason?
I'm here to, I mean, your department sent over 15 plainclothes officers harassing my tenants, harassing my family. I'm here to turn myself in. I had an appointment with the lieutenant. I'm here to turn myself in on an outstanding warrant. I was told to come here at 7 a.m. That's the thing.
We're gonna have the detectives come down and speak to you.
Okay, great, yeah. Where's the transparency? Where's the accountability?
Morning, gentlemen.
Greeting.
How are you? Mr. Reyes? I'm
Yes.
Detective Clark. How are you? Nice to meet you, sir.
Detective
You gonna
Clark?
come with us? Yes,
Sure.
sir. If you
Yep.
don't mind.
Come on, sir.
Everybody has body
Stay in
cameras?
the lobby here?
We do.
Go outside. I'm just recording police
How are you
activity.
doing, Mr. Reyes? You're just going to follow me, all right?
Yep. Do you mind if I get everybody else's name?
We'll get
Lieutenant
everything
Stellar.
for you.
You'll hear him.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Are you the lieutenant who spoke with my attorney?
Yes.
Okay.
Lieutenant Fuller, Mr. Reyes?
Yeah, I spoke with him on.
Did they bring back?
We're just gonna go in there.
Yep.
Yeah, I spoke with your attorney on Friday.
Okay.
Jacob.
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Reyes, just come with me. I'm going to make this quick and painless, okay?
Yes, sir.
Just going to have you step in the cell.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. Thanks, Mr. Reyes. You mind taking your hat off for me? Thank you. I'm just going to actually put yourself right in here if you don't mind. You can take off your watch. Thank you very much. We can just take this clip off on your...
All right, so let me just throw something at you guys here. Food for thought. For those of you that are familiar with Sean, and you know when Sean gets himself arrested, the first thing he does is put a GoFundMe account together. A GoFundMe account. Think about it. This is an individual who makes between $37,000 and $44,000 a month. A month. Now, some of you know that it takes some to make $37,000 or $44,000 a year. And this guy's making it in a month. Now, not to knock him, but if I was one of his supporters, I would be like, yo, with the kind of money you make a month, you got a big set of balls to be putting GoFundMe accounts together, right? But, hey, it is what it is. But in the making of this video, I checked the GoFundMe account, and it's set at $15,281 and growing. Now, again, these GoFundMe accounts are for his legal fees, right? Now, I don't know, but I was saying, you know, when I was watching this video, hold on, he's turning himself in. Wouldn't the average person bring his lawyer? I mean, shit, if my expenses, my legal fees were being paid by the public or whatever, shit, I'd be a lawyer every opportunity I get. But to me, he's pocketing this money. And I just wanted to throw this out there. It shows his character, you know? When the funds get low in his bank account, let me go get myself arrested so I can make a shitload of money in a few weeks or whatever. Again, I say, if I was a supporter, I'd be asking some serious questions, okay? But it is what it is, and I think it's safe to say that Sean has made a business out of getting arrested. Oh!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, after the detectives took me into custody, I was strip searched and locked in a holding cell. My property was inventoried. I was then photographed and fingerprinted. The entire process took less than 2 hours. I would also just like to note that the detectives at the 3rd Precinct were extremely professional and cordial with me, which I honestly didn't expect after Police Commissioner Patrick Psycho Ryder sent his mass goons across county lines to intimidate me, my family, and place me in custody on a Friday night, so I would have to spend the entire weekend in jail. After I was processed, I was taken to the courthouse. I was placed in a holding pen with around 20 other men who had committed various crimes the night before.
All right, so let me jump in here real quick where I'm hoping you picked up on what just came out of Sean's mouth. Sean is bitching now that he was placed in a holding cell with 20 other criminals. 20 other criminals now, okay? Now, think about it, guys. For those of you that are not familiar with Sean's prison history, well, Sean caught a major ass beating. A major ass beating. I mean, they broke his nose. They did some serious damage to him, okay? So, you can understand why Sean is a little intimidated by being around other criminals. But do you remember watching these videos where he gets tough with the police, where he's a badass, a tough guy, and so on with the police? Why is that? Because he knows the police play by the rules. They play by the rules. And if you remember that video in the DMV where he was getting tough with the short, chubby guy there, where he was telling the guy that I don't want to hurt you. You're going to find out that I'm not in the mood. Okay, if you remember that video. And then when the bigger guy came, the bitch in him showed up. Okay, so I'm just saying, you know, it's funny how Sean is a big, tough guy with police and people who play by the rules. But when it comes to being around other criminals that ain't got shit to lose, well, then that's when you see the real bitch in Sean come out. This is no man. This is a straight up bitch.
Approximately 4 hours in the holding cell. I was then taken upstairs to see the judge to be arraigned, where I pled not guilty to the charges of criminal trespass. My attorney, Jacob Uriel, attempted to get the judge to modify the existing 8 ridiculous stay-away protective orders against me to at least allow for lawful incidental contact. The judge refused. I was then released on my own recognizance, and my next court date is on November 13th. Speaking of the 8 stay-away order of protections, I have received the transcript from my previous court date when they were issued. I am not going to read the entire transcript. I'm only going to read the part about the protective orders. If you would like to read the entire transcript, I will leave a link to them in the description right.
All right, so let me jump in here and comment on these 8 restraining orders, where, in my opinion, there's a good possibility that these restraining orders came into the picture because if you're familiar with Sean's videos, then you know that when Sean goes to these government locations and the fraudit doesn't go the way he wants it to, either an employee or a law enforcement officer fights back, gives him a hard time, let's say, well, Sean's next option is to continue to go back and aggravate the situation, harass the individual, okay? Like he did with the Sergeant Fahey at the Connecticut headquarters, where you tell me he had 2 bad interactions with this Sergeant Fahey, but he thought it was a good idea to go the 3rd time telling his subscribers that I want to see if the sergeant has any remorse for what he did to me. Think about that, guys. You have 2 interactions that didn't go the way you want to. Very nasty. But you're going to go the 3rd time talking about you want to see if he changes way of thinking, if he feels bad for what he did. Come on. This guy has 500,000 people throwing big bucks at him that, in my opinion, Reyes feels he's invincible. Reyes feels that he can do whatever the hell he wants to do and get away with it. Okay? Think about it. 500,000 people throwing big bucks, not chump change, throwing big bucks at him. So he honestly feels invincible. And that's what's going to come back and bite him in his ass.
Moving on, we have Norman Samet, who is the judge presiding over this particular arraignment that granted the 8 stay-away protective orders. Right before his name says the Honorable. Honorable is a title that you should earn through your actions, not be given because you took a public service job. In my opinion, Norman Samet's actions have been dishonorable during this hearing. But let's take a look at it and let me know what you think in the comment section. Ann Donnelly is the district attorney, the elected official of Nassau County. Her representative in this case is District Attorney Melissa Maroney. My attorney is Jacob Uriel. So we're going to skip the beginning part of this transcript. It's basically just someone asking the court to record. I had no affiliation with this person. The court summarily denied their request because, of course, Judge Norman Samet hates transparency in his courtroom. All right, so page 9 is where the Assistant District Attorney Melissa Maroney makes her application to the court for the 8 stay-away protective orders. She says, with regards to the orders of protection, this defendant has various social media platforms, and on those social media platforms, as I previously indicated in the comment section, the addresses and names of the witnesses involved in this case being the 5 police officers, as well as the 3 Department of Social Services employees, was disseminated in the comment section. It's our understanding, based on information and belief from the Nassau County Police Department, that the defendant has dominion and control over those websites and has failed to take those comments down. The publication of the very private residences of the employees and the officers has led those people to be concerned for their safety and the safety of their families. We are requesting a stay-away order protection on behalf of those parties in connection with these cases during the pendency of the cases. Additionally, I would like to just indicate that we were informed by the police department that this defendant has gone to the police commissioner of Nassau County's residence at the time he was not home, taping and speaking with the commissioner's wife. If the defendant is willing to go to the police commissioner's residence, certainly he would not be fearful of going to the residence of any of the witnesses in this case. And for that reason, we are requesting an order of protection to keep them safe during the pendency of this hearing. Absolute garbage, ridiculous. The court, being Norman Samet. Mr. Uriel, my defense counsel. The people's application is outrageous. I'm going to start with the police commissioner. They're trying to insinuate that somehow the police commissioner is linked to this case. Mr. Reyes is a journalist. He reports on things. He went to the police commissioner's house not knowing who was home or not, rang the doorbell as everyone has the license to do. The commissioner's wife was in the door. They had a conversation, and that was it. To imply, based on him exercising his freedom of press and freedom of expression, that somehow he's now going to tamper with witnesses in this case is frankly just borderline disingenuous.
All right, so let me jump back in here. And for those of you that got to watch the video of Sean going to the commissioner's home, well, it's safe to say that the normal average working person gets home around 5, 6, 7 o'clock, right? Well, Sean goes early in the afternoon. I'm sure he knew the commissioner wasn't home. And if you want to play stupid, well, when the commissioner's wife answered the door, you would think he'd say, hey, is your husband home? I'd like to speak to him, and so on. But that's not what came out of his mouth. Immediately, do you know your husband is having an affair on you? Do you know your husband is cheating on you, and so on? So, come on. That tells me that he went there with the intentions to screw with the commissioner. Let the commissioner know that I can cause you problems. And you're going to think that if he does this to the commissioner, that he wouldn't be willing to tamper with other witnesses or so on? Come on now. You got to be stupid to not at least bring that into the picture. But hey, listen, I mean, Sean is good at bullshitting people, and his subscribers truly believe everything he says. And as long as he has 500,000 people kissing his ass, again, I say, he feels invincible, and he will tell any kind of story, and people believe it.
On top of that, they're asking for orders of protections for police officers. What does that mean? Stay away from their place of business? Stay away from their work? What does that mean? He can't be in the precinct in the confines of an entire district. It's unheard of. These are law enforcement officers, and their only basis on the order protections has to be reasonable. Their only basis is either that his camera is so dangerous that the people have to be protected from him, or which is that what they are really saying is that because the third party's on a public media site, I don't know if he can delete the comments or not. It's not his job to do that. If people are posting things independent of him, and by the way, there are tens of thousands of comments, I mean, to moderate them would be a job in itself. To say that because the court should take an unprecedented restriction on his liberty to bar him from police officers who are literally out there on patrol every day, he can encounter inadvertently, to bar him from a police precinct, this has a chilling effect on his ability, not just of freedom of movement, but because basically he has to stay home to comply with these orders, but also a chilling effect on the freedom of press. I honestly think there is no legal basis for these orders. The people's request is unprecedented. I am asking the court to summarily deny it. The court, Judge Norman Samet. People, Miss Melissa Maroney, the district attorney, says we rely on the record, Your Honor. The court, Miss Maroney, have you been in touch with these individuals and asked them whether or not they wanted an order of protection? I have been in touch with the Nassau County Police Department Legal Bureau this morning, and that individual did indicate to me that the individuals wanted orders of protection. The court, Miss Maroney, are you telling me that this defendant has a website himself and he puts the information on his website? Miss Maroney, my information is that he has a TikTok, a Facebook, a YouTube channel, and various other social media platforms. The court, is that so, Mr. Uriel? Mr. Uriel, Judge, I don't believe that he has profiles on these sites, but they're not his sites. He doesn't post things to the sites besides the video. The court, when you say these sites, what do you mean those sites? Mr. Uriel, for example, YouTube. He has a YouTube channel. Facebook, he has a Facebook page. But the comments they're talking about are third parties who are putting comments on the video. The court, let's talk about the Facebook for a moment. Does he not have the ability to take down these comments, which would reflect on these protected parties? Mr. Uriel, Judge, whether he does, he probably does. Again, I looked through his comment section. There are thousands of comments. I mean, it's not reasonable to expect him to monitor them, but regardless of which, what people are posting has nothing to do with him. To ask for orders of protection because let me make myself more clear what I'm trying to say. Even if these orders are granted, they will not prevent third parties from posting whatever they want online. They're not going to prevent these people that Mr. Reyes has never met and he doesn't know. Mr. Reyes doesn't publish people's private information. That I can tell you for a fact. And it's just such a tenuous logic to say that some third party on a public forum that anyone can post on because they are doing that. One, he's got some sort of affirmative obligation to monitor that, which is not true. Two, I do believe that most of those addresses would be public records anyway. I don't know where they would have got that information from. Three, to attribute it to him because of that, we are going to ask for orders of protection preventing him from his significant deprivation of liberty. It doesn't add up. So yes, he probably could delete them. That's not a basis for an order of protection. There is no allegation. I don't think the people are making that he's personally doing anything or he's soliciting people to do anything like that, because he's not.
All right, so let me jump in here for the last time of the video where you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Let me know what you think about it, and I already have it in my head. Sean is guilty, period, okay? Now, let me just say, I stand alongside anybody who wants to hold the government accountable. I know our government is not squeaky clean. I know our government has skeletons in its closet. And again, I say, I will stand behind anybody who wants to hold the government accountable. But that's not what these guys are doing. These guys are causing chaos, just for chaos, just to cause it, okay? All for the almighty YouTube fame and money, okay? But again, some of you may think this is entertainment and so on, blase, blase, and it's going to come back and bite some of you in your ass, okay? Because if you read the comments in his videos, a lot of his subscribers, as we all know, are screwed up in the head. And when you hear these comments that they want to do what happened in 1776 and so on, and you take that how you want to take it, but I'm taking it my way, and I'm ready. Anything breaks loose, I'm ready for any craziness that comes out of these frauditors. Again, I say, I believe eye for an eye, okay? But you let me know your thoughts on the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Okay, the court. Okay, thank you, Mr. Uriel. The court will sign the stay-away orders of protection. Sir, excuse me, I'm signing full stay-away orders of protection. You are directed to stay away from these individuals' homes, schools, places of business, places of employment of Nancy Nunziata, David Carl, Mark Hansen, Dominic Rosello, Kenneth Keller, Ryan Cower, Joseph Camlarelli, and Anthony Caminiti. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That's exactly what happened. The arguments that the district attorney was trying to make were complete asinine. They didn't make any sense, basically because someone else posted something in the comment section. And by the way, Melissa Maroney, the assistant district attorney, had no proof of this whatsoever. She didn't bring a screenshot of these comments or anything. She just said, based on knowledge that she acquired from the Nassau County Police Department, which we all know is a corrupted department led by one of the most corrupt individuals I've ever seen, Police Commissioner Patrick Psycho Ryder. So we have no evidence of that. But even if there was evidence, it's some random person on the internet, not even threatening people. It's some random person on the internet just putting out public addresses. Your address, my address, they're all public. They're public information. They're not secretly guarded. So putting them on a comment section isn't illegal. It's not a threat. I never advocate for violence, but yet 8 stay-away order protections were put against me, against government officials and police officers. You see it here. They made no allegations of me threatening anyone or committing any sort of act of violence. Nothing. There's no reason why the police commissioner should be scared of me. There's plenty of reasons why I should be fearful of him and what he's capable of based on his history and his criminal record. But there's no reason for him to be afraid of me. There's no reason for his wife to be afraid of me. I blurred her face out. I blurred his address out. I had a cordial conversation with his wife. Nothing happened. So again, these orders of protection are ridiculous. The new judge we have is refusing to modify them. I will just say, at least the Nassau County Police Department and the District Attorney's Office honored their word about not charging me for violation of these order protections when I turned myself in at the precinct, because technically I was violating them. As ridiculous as that sounds, it's absolutely ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. We, the people, demand accountability from these government officials. I have pled not guilty on both of the charges against me. I will see this through in a court of law on a trial, and we will be victorious in the end. I promise you all that. We will.